what are your top 5 growth tips for new Twitch streamers?
1, stop streaming on Twitch. 2, start posting on TikTok. The first thing I do when I wake up is post a TikTok video, and then I post an Instagram reel, and then I open up Twitter. I reply to some comments. I do that cycle literally in bed. If you can't sit through your own streams, if you can't watch your own videos, then it sucks and you need to fix it. I watched my VODs and almost puked at how boring and disgusting they were. So I was getting like 40,000 followers a month just from posting 3 times a day that content. Yeah, I was fed the assumption that men would only like me if I was quiet and docile and submissive, which is not my actual personality.
That's so wholesome. Like, your chat helped you become a better person?
You had success doing what people told you was the opposite of what men wanted.
How do you think you got that way? Why are you so tough?
Bullying. Low-key. If I had to restart again from zero my entire TikTok career, I would...
Welcome to Inside the Creators Studio, an origin story podcast about the world's best video content creators. My name is Katie Kane.
And my name is Mo Akif. On today's episode, we have Katliente, a content creator from California who streams to Twitch and gives streaming advice on TikTok to over 500,000 followers. And we're going to talk to her about going full-time as a creator, how to grow on Twitch, and what it was like to manage social media for an esports team.
This show is brought to you by Streamyard, a browser-based tool that lets you live stream to multiple platforms at the same time and record your podcast in studio quality. It's built for creators to make your life way easier. It's what we use to record this podcast. Hey everyone, I'm Katie and this is Mo, and we're 5 episodes in the bag now. This is our 6th episode. So we thought it would be fun if you guys got to know us a little bit more, to lighten up. It's been really content heavy, so just to chat a little bit and start the episode off. Just kind of conversationally.
Hi, my name is Mo Akif. And I am a content strategist at Streamyard. So I manage like the blog, the YouTube channel, and we do a little bit of Reddit marketing as well. But yeah, that's me.
And I'm Katie. I am the senior marketing coordinator here at Streamyard. I am also an actor, a writer. I would consider myself a content creator, now a podcaster. And yeah, I do a lot of video creation, writing, webpage creation, kind of all over the place, some social. And now Mo and I have a podcast that is hosted by Streamyard, but we're interviewing a ton of creators, and it's been really exciting. I have no experience hosting a podcast. Mo has done some podcasts, not his own individually, but through other organizations. So I follow his lead a lot of the time. But it's been really, really fun. And this episode, we just finished recording it. And honestly, it was a blast. There's so many great nuggets of information and ideas and advice from Katliente. And she makes me want to post on TikTok 3 times a day now, which is something she does.
Right?
I'm like,
that's what I got from her. I was like,
I can't even post once a day.
Yeah, like it would be a violation if I didn't start a TikTok now, like after the level of inspiration I got from her.
I said this to you today. I'm like, you should do TikToks. It's overwhelming though. Yeah, for sure. It's overwhelming. But we're really excited for you guys to check out this episode. We had a blast. She's so fun. And there is super valuable advice for creators of all types in the episode.
I will say that she is unapologetically herself, and that is so rare today. And it's just really inspiring. Like, from her sleep schedule all the way to like how she organizes her day and the type of content she creates, and like all the stories and like toxic relationships she's left behind to become who she is today, and how her chat helped her become like a better person. All of that is like super exciting. So like, I feel like our audience is going to love this.
Yeah. Especially after last week with Mike Vardy talking about night owls. I mean, not kind of a spoiler, but here is like the night owl of night owls, and she makes it work, and she's super successful. It's a really fun conversation, and I think there's going to be points in the video, if you're watching the video version, that you see me just entranced with what she's saying. It's like, so it's almost like she rehearsed it. It's just so insightful and really inspiring. And she's really young. I mean, she's a year older than me. And she is doing great. So I'm so excited to see where her career goes, because it's already she's really taking off as it is. All right, so let's get to the episode.
Kat, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
We're going to start off with some rapid fire questions. So try your best to keep your answers to a few sentences. If it goes longer, it goes longer. No big deal. The first one is, what is your setup for this call?
My setup for this call is pretty hefty. So I'm using a Sony ZV-1 for my camera. And then, I hooked it up to OBS to use OBS as a virtual camera so I could zoom in a little bit, because it's pretty, like the lens is pretty wide. And then I have an Elgato key light and an Elgato key light Air and 2 RGB floodlights from Amazon in my background to, set up my lighting, along with, the signs that I have in the background. And the microphone is an Elgato Wave 3. Why did I blank for a second there? And it's one of the only 450 pink ones they released a year ago.
Cool. What hobbies have you spent the most time on this year?
Oh, God. I mean, if you count content creation as a hobby, it's both my hobby, my love, and my job. So that's definitely what I spent the most time on. Secondly is art, but I also sell art. So it is now also a job. But
what time do you typically wake up and go to bed?
Oh, God. So I typically I typically wake up actually between 2 to 3 p.m. So this is actually early for me. I have to wake up at 12 for this. And I sleep at around 5 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, wow. True night owl, Mo.
I am a night owl, yeah.
We were just talking to someone the episode before this who is a productivity expert. And he was talking about night owls being misunderstood and his own routine as a night owl. And it was really interesting to hear all the research he knows about it. So
yeah, I would actually love to listen to that, because everyone's always like, oh yeah, waking up early is like so good for you. But for people like me, like if you're a night owl, it's absolute hell waking up. I did it for all of my childhood school years up until like when I was 18. Could not do it. It's just, I would just fall asleep in class during the day because I was just too tired.
Yeah, I think now there's research that I'm like, research that it's not, I don't know, that you don't have to wake up early to be successful. And so many people are more successful if they're listening to their body clock. So we talked to him a lot about that. It was really interesting. Because I'm like kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm like not a full night owl, but definitely can't wake up really early or get out of bed really early.
Yeah, the early risers they're built different.
Yeah. I mean, literally, like he was telling us that with performers, especially like, athletes, actors, musicians, a lot of times the time that they have to be on is at night, right? So it makes total sense. And I feel like streaming is similar to that in that a lot of it happens at night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. True. Like, I mean, we can set our own schedules as streamers, right? But like, I always tell people, I always set my schedule at night. I've tried afternoon streaming. It's absolute hell. Like I literally look like you couldn't pay me $1 million to be on stream at that moment. Like, because it just, that's like when I normally wake up and I'm just trying to be live, which takes a lot of energy. Like I'm just so much more awake and energized at night. And so it only makes sense for me to stream at night and to work after I stream at night.
Yeah. And you probably have the bulk of your audience there too, because if people have 9 to 5s, or I mean, I guess you have an international audience, but a bunch of people will view you in the evening. So it only makes sense because you're catering to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Was it different when you were an employee? Like your schedule?
Nope. I always streamed at night. Like, and it was actually, this is actually pretty bad. But even when I was in school, like in college, I would just miss classes, like straight up. If the class was any earlier than 11 a.m., it's 50% chance I would, actually no, it's about 100% chance I wouldn't show up. And then for my job too, like thankfully I'm pretty lucky. And when I had a job with the esports org I worked for them for a year and a half. Some meetings did have to be at 9 a.m. in the morning, but they were pretty flexible with as long as you got your tasks done. And if you didn't have a meeting at 9 a.m. in the morning, then it's okay if, like you woke up at 10 for your 10 a.m. meeting, as long as you met everything and did everything you needed to do on time.
Yeah.
But it was pretty awful though. 10 a.m. is still really early for me, and I would like nap after work and then wake up and go stream time. Let's go.
Yeah, totally chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
What is your morning routine if you have one?
Well, my afternoon routine
my bad, yeah.
I was just gonna say
is I typically wake up like whenever my body naturally wakes me up. I've been really trying to be more conscious about getting more sleep because for literally my entire life I've been very sleep deprived because I have ADHD, so insomnia kind of goes hand in hand with that. So especially being forced to be an early riser, like it just meant that I was getting 3 hours of sleep a night, not by choice. I would lay there awake for like 5 hours and be like, this is great, man. Love my life right now. So I would wake up whenever my body wakes me up around 2 to 3 p.m. And then I typically lay in bed for 30 minutes. The first thing I do when I wake up is post a TikTok video, and then I post an Instagram reel, and then I open up Twitter, and then I look at Twitter, and then I reply to some comments. So I do that cycle literally in bed at around 3 p.m. And then I get up. It depends on whether it's a stream day or not a stream day. So if it's a day that I stream, then I'll typically do my makeup when I wake up to get ready to look nice, get dressed in something that looks, decent on camera. So I'm not like straight up in PJs. And then I will film some TikTok videos or film a YouTube video. If I have a sponsorship deliverable, I will film that when the sun is still out. So the lighting is brighter in my room. And then I would go and stream. And then after I'm done streaming, I would film the bulk of my TikTok videos after I'm done streaming. And then I will go and download highlighted segments of my stream to then immediately edit right after I'm done streaming. So that's what I was doing yesterday. And sometimes if I was playing a game on stream, I might continue the game for a little bit off stream. But that's about it. And then I sleep at around 5 a.m. in the morning.
Nice.
And repeat.
That's intense. So when you post TikTok as soon as you wake up, is that something that you already had in your drafts, or is it like
it's in my drafts? Oh yeah, it's already. I have I peaked at like 120 drafts, but now I'm at about 50 drafts of my TikTok right now, and then I just park them. I have Instagram reel drafts too, but I woke up today and Instagram deleted all of them again. So they've been doing that, which is really annoying. I had like 30 videos in there and they're all gone. So I just gotta put them back in there. I don't know why Instagram's been doing that, but I would just literally, it's like clockwork, like habit, wake up, post, and then go about my day. And then literally whenever I next remember, I post 2 more, which is typically around 5, 6 p.m.
Got it.
Just to ask this really quickly, is there a reason why you developed that method? I'm just interested because, I mean, sometimes people say waking up and then immediately looking at your phone is not great for your eyes, but in terms of like your schedule is, I wouldn't say abnormal, but it is a little bit different from like the working person. So was there a reason you were like, I should post at the beginning of the day? Is it like a procrastination thing? Is it just like something you've just started doing and never stopped doing?
Well, I mean, my eyes are already pretty bad, so I wear glasses. So it is what it is. It's not getting better. So whatever.
That's fair.
But honestly, it's because ideally you want to post once when your followers are like getting more active in in your analytics, and then once at your peak, and then or like around 2 around your peak. But because of my sleep schedule, I wake up relatively late, so my audience generally is already active at 11 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, so out of habit, it's just wake up and then post. But even when I was working a 9 to 5, where I was waking up at like 9 a.m. in the morning, it was still out of habit. Like wake up at 9 a.m., post immediately. I've been doing this for years. So
yeah, interesting.
It's literally, I went to Asia for a month, still out of habit. Wake up, post. Even though given time zones, it's kind of like
it's almost like the opposite.
Yeah. But it ended up like, 11 a.m. in China is like 3 p.m. here. So it's not, wait, no, the math is not mathing right now. It's like, anyways, I forgot the time zone conversions right now, but it was close enough to where it was still reasonable to post in the US. So I would post once the moment I wake up, and then through the rest of the day in Asia, I couldn't post because it was nighttime in the US. And then once at like 8 p.m. and then once at like close to midnight, I would post. And that would be my 3 posts that would actually hit like morning, noon, and night roughly in the US.
Got it. Yeah, I think it's like, at least I'm in New York. Me and Mo are in the same time zone. It's like 12 or 13 hours. So it probably is like 15 or 16 hours for you. I don't know exactly.
Yeah. It's about, depending daylight savings, it's like you subtract 3 and then you flip the day. Something like that. So it's like, if it's 11, it would be 8 p.m. when I'm posting, if it's 11 a.m. in China, something like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I went to China and I was like, totally disoriented for like 3 days. So I bet you felt even worse because that's even a more intense time difference.
Wait, where in China did you go?
I went to Shanghai.
Oh, I'm like my family's from there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I went for like a week and I was talking to someone recently. I'm like, we should have gone for 2 weeks because just as we were getting used to it, it was like, okay, we got to leave now.
Yeah, no, because the time zone like F's you up really badly. If you're gonna go, you might as well stay there for a while.
I know. Seriously, it was crazy. It was really, we were like falling asleep. I was in a show. I'm an actor as well. And when I was falling asleep like in the middle of rehearsal, I've never been so tired. It was crazy.
Oh my God. But that must have been so fun though. I love Shanghai. It's so amazing.
It was really cool. Mo, you should go. The food's amazing.
Hard vouch. Food is so freaking good.
And it's
Chinese food in the US can't compare.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. No, it's awesome. Okay, totally off track, but
no worries. This is Kat, I think this is like the most conversational episode we have had so far. We're 10 minutes in and like
really?
This is so fun.
It's a good thing.
That's awesome. Well, I mean I could talk a lot, so yeah.
We love that. I'm the same way.
Rapid fire and I was like, oh.
No worries, yeah.
I'll try to be fast.
No, I'm glad we're doing the rapid fire at the beginning because it gives us so many like threads to like pull on later. And also like if one of them is really interesting, we can dive in right away like we just did. So like no worries.
Yeah. Awesome. Totally.
Last one is, what is your go-to boba order?
Holy crap, a jasmine green milk tea with boba, 50% sugar, less ice.
I was going to see if you were going to say the sugar.
Yeah.
Because that's important.
I always got 100. And then I started getting a little concerned for my health due to the fact that I get one a day and I would get a large with 100% sugar. And that's just a lot of sugar. So I started cutting back to where I still can't give up my one boba a day. So generally I get about 6 bobas a week. So there'll be one day in a week where I might not get it, but it's a might. I cut back to like 75% sugar, and then now I cut back to 50% sugar. And I've been starting to get regulars instead of larges. So I'm trying to do better for my health. It's hard. I can't give it up. I can't. It's like a drug, like honestly.
What milk do you use?
I'm lactose intolerant, but I get regular milk. But I started getting oat milk recently because the only other thing is some drinks they use like the way they make the drink, it's not tea plus milk, it's straight milk plus something else. So it's like milk plus brown sugar. I actually don't like it if the drink is like that because it's so heavy in milk. So for those drinks, I started getting oat milk because it's lighter. Because I like a drink that is more tea than milk, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
Like
I'm
where
a
the tea flavor is more common.
drinker too. I don't drink it 6 times a week. I wish.
Katie, what's your order?
I would say it depends on my mood, but I am a taro person.
I would say I love taro. The same thing.
And I only do oat milk because after I started having matcha with oat milk, if I have matcha with regular milk, I'm like, it just tastes like grass.
I literally got a matcha drink yesterday with oat milk because it was just matcha and milk. And it's like, it's so heavy if it's just straight milk and matcha.
Yeah. I mean, I drink tea like 3 times a day. So if it's not, you can see my cup is really like stained for whatever reason. Cute little Campbell's soup cup. So I would say taro. If I'm asked about sugar, I'll do 50%. And if I can do extra tapioca, I will. And I also do less ice. I hate having too much ice.
Yeah.
But I also do lychee if I'm in like a non-milk mood. And I'll do lychee tea. And then I'll do like the half sugar and extra pearls. But I'll always get a large. I think you gotta do the large.
You're convincing me. Wait, if you guys are in Manhattan, have you guys been to Machi Machi?
I'm in New York. Mo is in Canada, but I have not. Where is it?
Oh, Machi Machi it's in Manhattan. It's in K-Town. There's one.
Okay.
So if you like taro, they have a different topping, which is taro balls. So it's like boba balls with the same texture, but it's made of taro instead. It's my favorite topping. Machi Machi makes it the best.
Oh my God, I gotta go.
I'm so jealous because they don't have it on the West Coast here. Machi Machi is in Vancouver, and they have it in Manhattan. Those are the 2 places I found it.
Oh my God, I gotta go.
It's so good. I recommend it.
I haven't had boba in so long. I'm like writing it down on my hand.
Yeah,
I never
get
have
the taro
paper
balls.
by me.
You would love it.
Do you get it with taro?
Okay, so I actually don't like taro in a drink. For some reason, like the drink version of taro, I don't like it, but I really like the taro balls. Like somehow the like flavor of it with the same texture. It has a very dense texture like boba, but a little bit denser. So good. But they make it in China. They make it in China, and it's so good in China. And if that was the first place I had the taro balls in China in a drink. In the West Coast, in California, there's only one place that makes it, but it's so soft, which is not how it's supposed to be. I don't know how they make it like that, but I'm so jealous because it's my favorite topping. I like that topping even more than tapioca balls, actually.
Oh my God, I have to try it. You know what I had in China that's on the same plane as this? I went to McDonald's and I had a taro pie instead of an apple pie.
The little taro little like apple pies with the taro version.
It was crazy. It was purple. I was like, oh my God. Mo, you got to go to China again. I love going to McDonald's. Yeah. I love going to McDonald's in different countries. It's so weird.
Oh, same. My family makes like a whole trip out of it. Like every time we went to Thailand, have to go to McDonald's. Go to Paris, have to go to McDonald's.
Yeah, because the little changes are just really interesting.
That is so cool.
Okay. I also have ADHD, so this is making a lot of sense.
I know. It's like we're just getting derailed over here on the side.
I love it. Okay, Mo, let's continue.
Let's go. Okay, let's jump right into it. Kat, when you decided to quit your dream esports job to go full-time on content creation, what were the emotions you were feeling? And were there any conversations you had with people in your life that either like helped you make this decision or made you feel more confident about it? Like this could be a friend, your family member, or a manager or something.
Oh God, that was a really tumultuous point in my life. Honestly, there was sorry, I do have to burp. I ate a whole bunch of fried chicken before this. So
burping is allowed.
It's stuck. I hate it when it like doesn't come.
Oh no,
dude, the fried chicken was so good. It was like honey, soy, garlic, so amazing. But I'm paying the price for it now. But yeah, it was honestly a really tumultuous time for me because trying to figure out how much I can say, but basically, I was at a crossroads where I really wanted to stay with the job because I've always wanted to work in esports. It was one of those like pipe dreams, you know, where like I was in college. I was heavily involved in esports in college. I played on one of our League of Legends teams. So I played on it for 2 years. I managed the team for a year. I only went to college for 3 years. So there's only 3 years in this history. But I was the graphic designer for another gaming club, just a general gaming club. And then I also taught a game design course at Berkeley. So I was very, very interested in games and esports. Thank you. I did the art for it. So I don't know. I don't know how to code. I took one coding class, but I was teaching art for game design. So it was really fun. And so I really wanted to work in esports and I didn't know how to get in because getting into the industry is really hard. So luckily, the senior social media producer at the time at Dig took a chance on me and brought me in as an intern. I'm eternally grateful to him. He's no longer there. He went to like a different company, but so I had this job and I loved doing it and it was so fun. I got to see the behind the scenes of esports. I'm like a really nosy person and I love hands-on experience. So that job was perfect because I got to see the behind the scenes. I got to experience it and I was like living it up every day. But then I kind of reached a point where like every day where I had to wake up to go do my work, I felt my heart get pulled in a different direction where I was like, man, but I could be like making this content for myself. I could be making this for myself. I'd be like just daydreaming about my own content when I wasn't supposed to, but you know, you can't help where your brain kind of wanders to. And it was kind of the same feeling that I had in college because I went to college for biology. So I graduated with a bio degree. But I just remember sitting in a physics discussion and I was sitting there and the TA was lecturing on about some physics topic that I don't care about because I don't really like physics. And I just remember sitting there and daydreaming and I was like, damn, I just don't want to be here, bro. I just want to be able to like work in esports. It would be so nice to have an esports job. What can I do in esports though? Like I don't do any videography or anything. So it was kind of the same feeling that I had in college, just less resentful because I really resented physics. But I was like, my heart is being pulled in a different direction. But I had so many conversations with my boyfriend about this. He's a pro league player who actually plays for the same team that I worked for. But We got brought on at the same time, which is actually really funny. But I had so many conversations with him where I was like, I'm really scared that if I were to leave now, then my esports career is over. Because esports as an industry is very like who you know. And it's easier to get a job. Well, it's already really hard to get a job in esports because of the insanely high demand. But it's much easier to get a job when you're already in the industry, when you work for a company. You can get a referral versus you're just some rando on the internet that really wants an esports job. So we're very worried that if I left my job, that I would never be able to get back into esports. And I had a lot of conversations with my boyfriend about it, where I was like, I was always just I was not sure if I wanted to continue with esports because there was so much about esports that I loved. And there was also aspects of it I didn't like. And there was so much I wanted to do with my own content. And I just kind of had a realization where I was like, oh my God, one day I'm going to blink, I'm going to open my eyes, and it's going to be 4 years later, and I'm going to be in the same spot, and I'm going to be regretting not doing anything with my content and not giving it the full shot that I think it deserves. And I had full-time content creator in the past, but it was in like a window area because I graduated from college in 3 years instead of 4. And I'm really lucky in which my parents paid for my college, but there kind of was like the immigrant parent mentality because they're both from Shanghai and immigrated to the US, where they're like, we're going to provide our kid with everything they need to enter the adult world as a functioning adult because neither of them had it. And so it was their mission to pay for my college, which I'm eternally grateful to this day. But because I graduated a year early and I saved them a lot of money by doing it, they were willing to let me full-time content create and just live at home for 6 months.
Interesting.
Because they were like, and I was trying to sell them on it too, because I was like, I would have been in school for another year, but because I finished early, I'm basically getting a head start. So you should let me go and take this risk because I would have been in school if I didn't choose to graduate early, so I could try to go full-time content. So they let me, and then I got the esports job, so I moved on to LA. But so that was kind of like the really long-winded, but I was very all over the place about my decision. But coming to the realization, and especially it helped talking with other people that I can't remember off the top of my head, like any particular conversations, but I just remember like talking with people and they were saying, yeah, like I'm 26 now and I've been working here for 5 years. And what am I doing with my life? And I was like, oh, because at the time I was 22. So I was like, well, I'm not trying to do that. So what if I just leave?
Yeah. Oof. It's a big risk, but it's definitely paid off and it's really exciting. My original question is, how did you gain the confidence to start streaming in the first place? But I guess we could say more, how did you gain confidence to start content creating? Maybe not even like taking it super seriously, but taking it at least a little bit seriously to the point where you knew you could full time with it at a certain period. And then later when you did it totally full time. Because I think with streaming, it can be super daunting to not have a response, like an immediate sort of, I mean, you have comments, but I guess it is different to not be looking at somebody else, to not be talking face to face, but sort of speaking to the void and hoping someone will comment. So how did you gain the confidence to start doing that?
Well, I started streaming December 2018. So I am going on almost 5 years of streaming now, which is really crazy to think about. But I dated somebody that was a Twitch streamer. So they weren't a big streamer, but they were maybe like 10 average viewers. But they like to think they were big. So kudos to them. But we dated and they were a streamer and they told me they're like, and when I dated them, I had already streamed once. So by that point, but that one stream terrified the living crap out of me. So I had no equipment. So I literally streamed with like the crappy computer that I had with a GTX 760 that I streamed on for actually a year after that. But I used my phone. I downloaded a free webcam app, hooked it up to my computer. The webcam app only lasted for 15 minutes. So the webcam like died later, but I like precariously balanced it on the set of plastic drawers I had from Walmart. And that was my stream setup. And I hit up my friend because I have this like friend group of really close friends. And I've known 3 of them since I was in kindergarten. And the fourth one is my best friend. I met her in college. So I hit them up. Wait, no, I cannot. Yeah. Okay. But I hit one of them up, one that I knew was a degenerate that is always online. And I was like, I am going to go try my first Twitch stream. I am so scared. I don't want to be alone. Can you hop in a Discord call with me and can we play just like one game of League together? And that's what we did. Like, we hopped in a Discord call. I hit go live. I was terrified. I streamed one game of League, and I was so scared. I ended stream immediately after and almost cried. So I never streamed. I didn't stream again after that. And then I started dating the guy who was a streamer. And he was like, Kat, like, you'll do well on Twitch. You look like an ABG. And, like, people like that. You'll get viewers. And I was like 18, so I was dumb and I didn't know any better. So I was like, okay. Like, stupidly going along with it. Like, whatever. But I started streaming, and it was really helpful to have somebody that kind of already knew the space. So he would be in my chat. He would like talk to me. My friends, I would always tell them, my OG friend group, I'd be like, guys, I'm live. Can you like, please come? Mm-hmm. So some of them would kind of like be in chat and like talk to me here or there, so I wouldn't be lonely. I would always stream and call with people, like mainly those friends, so that I wouldn't be alone, so that there would always be people. But then after a while, like, I broke up with that person because they were being toxic, and I still really love streaming. So I kept going with it. And then I remember it was like 2019. And so this is like maybe 7-8 months into streaming. I was like, I want to make it a true thing. So I set a stream schedule, and I was like really diligent in sticking to the stream schedule. It was like Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. and I was streaming for 2 hours. And I remember I would leave like social gatherings I was at because I was like, oh, I have to go stream now. And people were like, oh, that's so cute. You're going to be like an e-girl League streamer? Yeah, go talk to your Sims or something. And I was kind of like, whatever. Then, I'm going to my thing. I was stuck at 3 average viewers the entire time. And I remember being so demoralized sometimes because you would finish streaming and you look at the analytics and it say 3 viewers. And I was like, ugh. And people are always like, oh my God, Kat, like, you had 3 viewers. Like, I had none. My 3 viewers were my freaking friends just lurking me. It was not any actual new people. It was just those 3 people lurking me all the time, which I'm super grateful for. And like, I guess 2 of them, because one of them was just me, having my stream tabbed in chat or whatever. But that was because I only streamed on one monitor for a hot minute. So yeah, that was what I was rocking with. And then I was like streaming after giving that a full like effort and being stuck at 3 viewers for a couple months. I was like, dude, I'm done with this. Like, I'm done. So I would just stream on and off, and then COVID hit. So I did pick it back up in COVID. And the reason that COVID allowed me to do it was because of my college. So I had taken a buttload of classes like every single semester. So by the time COVID rolled around, I had enough credits to where I could take the rest of my classes to graduate for pass, no pass, which means not for grade. As long as I got a C or higher, it would say pass on my transcript, and it wouldn't count towards my GPA. So I had enough credits to where I could just take literally the rest of my technicals like that. So that's what I did. I just took all my technicals as pass, no pass, and I was streaming, and I was just pulling straight C's in all my classes. If my parents ever see this, they're going to be so sad. But I knew that I didn't want to do bio anymore. So I knew that the bio was only going to be a short-lived thing, so I could get the piece of paper to make my immigrant parents happy. So I have a mentor, and I told her, I was like, I am done streaming. This was in maybe like July. I just started using TikTok in July 2020. I told her, I was like, I'm done streaming. I love to stream. It's not worth my time. I've streamed so much, and I still am at 3 average viewers. Like, nothing has changed. It's not worth the effort. But then I started using TikTok, and I would just post League of Legends skits on there. I was literally a League skit creator. And I made a lot of friends who are also League skit creators, and they also had streams, and they were bigger than me. They were like 20, 30 average viewers. But it wasn't because of the size. It was just because I thought they were genuinely funny as hell, so I wanted to be friends with them. So then I was like, just gung-ho on a whim in August, end of August, I was like, I'm going to stream again. YOLO. I started streaming, and because of TikTok, because I made a bunch of friends, because people found me from TikTok, I had 12 viewers. And I was like, oh, I've never seen double digits on this thing in my life. Like, this is insane. So after that stream, I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I love this. And then I immediately clicked to me. I was like, whoa, wait. I started posting on TikTok. I was posting every day, literally just for fun, because I had so much fun doing the League of Legends skits. And I had like 2,000 followers on TikTok. And that was the most followers I've ever had on a social media platform. So I was like, okay, I've gained all those followers on TikTok. All these people are saying they found me on TikTok. That must be the secret magic sauce, right? Like, I started using TikTok, my Twitch viewers grew. I'm gonna keep using TikTok. And my Twitch viewers kept growing. So I was like, ooh, this is working. So I also realized that I needed to fix my stream really badly. And I realized that I had the misconception that I just hit go live and call it a day. That was not, and I literally had the thought process. I was like, well, I'm like a relatively cute girl, so I should get viewers. And that was such a bad mindset to have. And it was literally, I was so ignorant. It was literally my ex feeding me all that stupid info, and I was like eating it up because I just didn't know any better. And I was just not doing any second research myself, and I was just taking everything he said at face value. So I like want to like slap my 18-year-old self for thinking like that. But so then it is what it is. I started doing things to improve my stream. I, fixed some equipment issues. I watched my VODs and almost puked at how boring and disgusting they were. So I was trying to make myself more entertaining, more funny. I would watch other streamers and steal their jokes.
It's working, by the way. You're so funny.
Thank you. I like to think I'm funny, but that could just be me and my little demons in my head telling me that. But I started, like, oh, wow, I need to fix my lighting because this giant ceiling light, shining a light on my forehead makes me look like I have a landing strip here. Like, maybe I shouldn't do that. So fixed a lot of things about my stream, made it look better. I got more viewers. I started posting more on TikTok, got more people coming in. I was like, oh, this is doing really well. And I feel like everyone is always on this pinnacle. Every content creator who has grown is at this, there's like a crossroads for you where either it's like you make or break kind of. And that crossroads is around 40 to 50 average viewers when you're around maybe a decent sized following on TikTok. At the time, I had 8,000 and I was still in school. I had one more semester left in school. And I was like, dude, I'm kind of stuck. I'm plateaued. How do I get beyond this? And then I was like, okay, 2 realizations that I had at that point. I was like, I'm going to keep doing what works. And I'm going to do what other people can't do. So what worked was people kept asking me, okay, can you teach me how to stream? Like, you grew so much in such a short window. You went from 6 average viewers to 50 in 4 months. So how do I do that? So I started making videos, and I love helping people. I love teaching people. Again, like I taught game dev. I've been teaching people for a lot of stuff my entire life. I was a tutor in high school. So that's something I'm really passionate about. I started making videos explaining like how you can, improve your stream. And each video I made blew up. Every single one of it. Like literally 100K views per video. And I was like, oh, this is insane. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do what other people can't do. And that is like insanely output content. So I was like 3 times a day. That's it. So starting December 2020, I've literally been posting 3 times a day since then. Because that's just some like BS level output that a lot of people can't do. But I was like, I'm willing to do it. So it's okay. And it paid off because I was growing insanely on TikTok. I was gaining a lot of followers per month. Like I went from 8,000 to 40,000 in December, and then 40,000 to, I was getting like 40,000 followers a month. Just from posting 3 times a day that content. Yeah, it got me partnered on Twitch too. So I went from 50 average viewers to 120 in 1 month, from December to January. December 2020 to January 2021. I made that massive, I literally like was at 50 average viewers the entire time. So all of December to half of January, 50 average viewers. And I was getting really discouraged. I was like, dude, my TikTok is doing really well. So why is no one coming over here? And then one day I opened up my Twitch stream. I literally remember it was like January 16th, 2021. I opened up my Twitch stream and my chat is flooded. And I'm like, what? Why is it so fast? And I had my viewer count hidden, so I had no idea how many people were there. And I was just trying to respond to everybody because I was trying to read everyone's name, say every message. It was flooded. I was like responding. Took me 2 hours to catch up with chat. And then somebody was like, Kat, you have 160 viewers. And I have the clip of me freaking the hell out. 165? Because before that, 50 was my peak. Before that. So I was like, huh?
That's huge.
And after that stream, I was laying in bed and I was literally like starfishing in bed, like blanking out at the sky. I was like, dude, what happened in that stream? I have no idea. I'm so confused. Where did these 160 people come from? Why did I jump from like 50 to 160 peak? So it was like 120 average, but still, I was like, why did I jump from 50 to 120 in like a day? What changed? Literally yesterday, there was 50 people. And I was so scared because I was like, what if these people don't come back? Like this jump was insane. And I don't know if it's people would come back. And then the next time I streamed, they were back. And I was like, oh. And then they just stayed and I got partnered after that. And
wow.
That was that. Yeah. But then the next step was to monetize, because no matter how many viewers you have, if you can't make money, you can't do it full time, So then it was that whole journey of like, okay, how do I monetize? Well, I was making pretty good decent money on Twitch back then. I was making like at least like $1,300 a month off Twitch, through subs and stuff like that. So I had that income coming in, and then I was doing sponsors here or there. I opened up my Etsy shop July 2020, June 2020. Or sorry, June 2021. I'm getting all the days confused. But that was bringing me in good income. And that was like it was like on a whim too. So even as a kid, like being young growing up, I was always watching these like finance videos and everyone's like passive income. And I was like, I need passive income. And I really like this again, like 18-year-old me being whatever. So I was like, all throughout college, I was really trying to like find streams of passive income. But what they don't tell you is passive income is one, not passive. And two, you typically need money to start a stream of passive income. And I didn't have money because I was broken in college. So I didn't have much. But then, so every time there was like an opportunity that came around that I thought was good, I hopped on it. Redbubble, I was like, oh my God, yes, I'm gonna sell with it. They still send me a check for like $30 a month, which is like some boba, so I'll take it. But I haven't touched that website in about 5 years. So 4 years maybe. I was trying that for a while. And then I tried a whole bunch of other stuff, try passive income, this, that. And then I saw some TikToks about like sell digital goods on Etsy. And I was like, well, that's what I was trying to do on Redbubble. I'm going to try it on Etsy anyways. Like, YOLO, let's see how this could be. Tried it, opened up the store. I was selling Twitch emotes and overlays and stuff like Twitch art. I still sell it to this day. Well, so it was successful, which is why I still do it. But that was getting sales. And on my first month, I got like $700 from it. And I was like, I had just graduated college by then. So I had graduated college and then immediately opened up the Etsy shop because I was like, I am so broke. Like my parents are going to be mad at me because I have no job prospects. So I need something happening. So I opened up the Etsy shop, and the month after that, it was like 1,000 something. And I was like, oh, and then the month after that, it was like 3,000. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep this momentum going. Let's go. So I had Etsy, I had Twitch, and then I was getting some sponsors here and there, but I was making like a couple $100 from it, which is great, but it's not enough money to convince your parents that it's viable to do full time. So I had a lot of fights with my parents about it, a lot of fights. But in the end, like I was able to get the sponsorship income up. I was able to like diversify my income portfolio, and they were more comfortable with me doing it full time. And then I got a job, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Wow, that's so
that was
crazy.
A long story.
No, I mean, it's amazing. It's really, really cool. And I think there's so many similar stories of people in COVID getting on TikTok and like, you don't really know what's going to happen. And sometimes you hit it just right.
Like if you told me during COVID that this stupid little app was going to change my life, I'd be like, you dumb. I downloaded TikTok because I wanted to make cringe couple compilations of pictures of my boyfriend and I wanted it to be vertical, and I didn't know how to edit videos. So the only app that like could do that was Musical.ly, but Musical.ly like died and became TikTok. So I was refusing to download TikTok because I was like, this app is so stupid, it's cringe. But then I was like, I want it vertical. I want to edit cringe videos of my boyfriend and I because all our pictures are vertical. So I downloaded TikTok and like was uploading those compilations in private so only I could see it, so I could download it just so I could get those stupid slideshows. That's why I downloaded it in the first place.
Wow. That is so wild. What a change.
I know.
What a crazy path. No, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's insane. It's been a whirlwind. Like, if you told 18-year-old me that I'd be a full-time content creator, I'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean we didn't go down the doctor route that we said we'd do for like freaking 18 years?
So when it comes to your TikTok growth, then if I could summarize, like from 0 to 8K was the League skits.
Yes.
And then up to 500K, and like now you're above 500K. It was like 3 times a day stream advice.
Yes.
And then I'm curious, if you were to restart from 0 today, like, is there anything you would do differently?
Oh, that's a really good question. If I had to restart again from 0 my entire TikTok career, I would start posting 3 times a day from the get-go, because I already know what videos would do well. I already know what videos wouldn't do well. And I would identify a gap in the industry that I could fill. So at the time, I identified that the gap was streaming advice. Nobody was making content that was making all this information transparent. Sorry, there is a spam call. I'm going to get rid of this guy. Sorry, I just looked down and it said telemarketer. I was like, telemarketer. I was like, what? Like identifying a gap in the industry that I could fill. So back then, I quickly identified that the gap was streamer education. People wanted to know how to start streaming. It was so popular during COVID. And nobody was telling you how to get started. Nobody was telling you like, hey, here are 5 things that I didn't know about Twitch streaming that I think you should know. Nobody made content like that. So I filled that gap in the industry. Now there's a lot of people who do those types of videos, including myself. But there was another gap that I identified, which is like financial transparency among creators. So I started making videos about that too. So, and those videos all do well because no one talks about it. It's scary to talk about how much money you make, but I talk about it. It is what it is. But yeah, so like it's just identifying a gap in the industry that you can fill and then solidifying your foothold in there and showing your personality in your videos. So I would have also talked in my videos more. I did not talk back then. And also I was very insecure about the way that I spoke. So I didn't really want to talk in the videos. And so I was always like holding myself back in my early videos. I always like my personality has never changed as a person. But if you saw my videos, it's like a shell of a person because I was like so scared to be out there and to be loud because my entire life I was told that as a girl, you should be more quiet. And like, why are you so loud and boisterous and tomboyish? And I was like, you know, so everyone was always like, telling me, oh, don't be yourself, you know, do. So I believed it and I shouldn't have believed it, but I would have changed that as well.
So when you say you were insecure about the way you speak, you mean it was about that part, like the being loud part?
Yeah. I'm like, I talk very fast and then I also talk very loudly and I'm pretty high energy as a person. And like a lot of people in my life were always telling me, you're too high energy, like you're too much for me to handle. And like, so I was fed the assumption that men and other people in general would only like me if I was quiet and docile and submissive, which is not my actual personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I like was showing that in stream too.
Okay, and how did you like overcome that? And like, I mean, first of all, you identified this like script that was like ruling your life, and then you actually addressed it. Like, how did you do this?
It was kind of like I do a lot of introspection. So I kind of had a realization where I was like, bro, why am I listening to all these people that don't pay me money? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So that was one, right? I would only listen to you if you're like buying me boba or like, you know, you're putting money in my pocket. Otherwise, I don't really care. And secondly, also, when I started to be more true to myself, it was viewers were responding positively. People were like, oh my God, Kat, I love you as a person. Like, I could see you like being my friend. Like, and I was like, oh, I've never really gotten positive feedback for being like this. So this is really interesting to see. And people were saying like, oh, I love to see like somebody who looks and acts just like me. And I was like, so hearing all of that as a side note, validated that I was making the right choice.
That's so wholesome. Like your chat helped you become a better person?
Yeah.
That's so awesome. It's really crazy too, because I think what you were fed by your ex-boyfriend in a way was, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but on Twitch, you would be catering to a predominantly male audience.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. So you had success doing what people told you was the opposite of what men wanted, which is wild. If you really, I mean, it's totally, it makes sense. I mean, I'm a woman. I've been told the same thing, but it's so funny to really be able to prove those people wrong. You're like, oh, I actually am getting success in the opposite way. And you told me that the target audience that I'm reaching is not going to appreciate this. Well, now you have the stats.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
And it's so interesting because my gender breakdown was very predominantly men back then, especially when I first started using TikTok. Because again, like I didn't know how to not create or how to create content for the female gaze. I only knew how to do things for the male because this is like a whole deeper thing. But like I feel like as a woman growing up in this society, right, you're just taught that you're supposed to appeal to the male gaze and that's it. I didn't have any female role models, like not in my life, but just like streamers that I could see back then that I knew of that generally really made content for the female gaze. I haven't, and this was also because I was ignorant and I didn't bother to look beyond like the little fishbowl that I knew and what I was told. And I was just told, you know, hey, look at these streamers, like they're making content for the male gaze and they're female. And that's the only female, like big streamers that I'm just going to show you and that I've seen. So therefore I was like, well, this must be true, right? I have not seen a female creator make content for the female gaze or just, you know, that could make something different and be successful. And I hadn't seen it. So therefore I was like, it's not possible. But I also like they exist and I didn't bother to go look for it either. So it definitely was also fault on me. But after like changing up my content, realizing that, oh yeah, I don't need to appeal to the male gaze to like actually be a successful creator, that I could change my content. My audience is predominantly female now. Like on TikTok, I literally just checked yesterday. It's like 66% female. It's been going down, which I'm sad about. It was like 2% at one point, which I was really happy about. But my Instagram is like 60% female as well. So my audience is predominantly female, which I'm really happy about. And I don't know, I also hope that I could at least maybe be a role model to other like young girls who are maybe like, oh, I want to be a content creator. What possible routes can I go down, you know? And I'm like, well, you know, this is one way that you could do it. Hopefully I can motivate people. That'd be cool.
No, that's really amazing. And it's really exciting to see that you realize that, and now you feel like you can pay it forward, especially because you said you like to teach. I mean, that's huge. That's huge going forward. For a content creation beginner, how would you explain how to approach creating content on Twitch versus creating content on TikTok?
I would say that if you're creating content on Twitch, all of your streams, in my opinion, should link back to something. So you should start every stream with a plan of what content you're going to make out of the stream. The purpose of your streams is to milk content for other platforms and to engage with your community. Those are the two purposes. Too many people, I feel like, are like, I'm going to hit play in Valorant and queue up a game and hope something happens. And you're not going to get content if you just like queue games over and over again and pray something cool happens. But if you open up your Twitch stream and you're like, okay, I am going to play Valorant, but I'm going to look up a list of funny rizzy Valorant jokes. And I'm just going to tell it to people in voice comms every game. I'm just going to ask, you know, hey, do you want to hear a Valorant pickup line? And then whatever they say, if they say yes, I'll tell them a pickup line. If they say no, I'll be very sad, but it's okay. We'll move on. You know, now you're going to get content out of every stream. I do that with my streams. Like some streams I'll do a streamer Q&A where I'll open up a Google form and then have people submit into the Google form and I will just answer your stream questions. Every question I answer is like a clippable moment for TikTok. So it's going into Twitch with a strategy. And in terms of making content on TikTok, on other platforms, think of your target audience. Your target audience is a 14-year-old kid who likes Fortnite and Among Us with ADHD and a goldfish attention span. So how are you going to make this video appeal to this 14-year-old kid? How are you going to make this video watchable for him? Well, of course, you know, the intro needs to be snappy, cool, fun, maybe some meme sound alerts, some big things that pops up. Subway Surfers maybe to grab their attention. You always have to change something up. But I think it also helps that I fall into the exact target demographic that I'm describing. So it's like, well, if I would find this video boring, a lot of people on TikTok most likely would also find this video boring. So and that's the biggest thing overall. If you can't sit through your own streams, if you can't watch your own videos, then it sucks and you need to fix it. Because humans are narcissistic. And if you can't even watch yourself, then no one else will watch you.
It's really great advice.
Thank you. That was a realization that I came with because I couldn't sit through my old streams. I thought it was so boring too.
Well, I think it's hard if you're starting out and like you said, you were sort of plateauing with people who were following you and you were asking your friends to come in and comment and sit through it. I mean, for lack of a better term. So if you're thinking that you're boring and you're almost being in a way validated by your audience not increasing, of course you're going to feel that way. So it's good that you change things up because then you did see the fruit of your labor, I guess.
I think one thing that I do really well that a lot of people should do is like removing your personal feelings from like objectively observing yourself and your content and your numbers. Because like it's not, you know, at the end of the day, if a video flops, like, sure, it kind of sucks that I put a lot of effort and flop, but oh, well, I'll just make another one. Like, it is what it is, you know? Like, oh, if my streams are really boring, well, okay, I just need to talk more. Like, I feel like it's a lot of people get in their head about it where they take it very personally. They're like, people hate me and that's why they don't want to watch me. Da, 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 da. Like, that's why. But if you remove all personal feeling, it's just you didn't talk more. If you talk more, people will watch, you know? It's nothing against you as a person. It's just the format, the delivery is what needs to be changed. And it's not you as a core person that is the issue. And I think like removing personal feelings from it lets you take a more objective view on how you should improve your content and move forward.
That's amazing advice as well. That's huge. I feel like looking at something as a third person and being able to view it and be objective about it because I think a lot of times people aren't looking at you and saying, "Oh, they did this. I hate them for that." They're actually critiquing the things that are working and the things that aren't working within the video. No, that's amazing advice. What are your top 5 growth tips for new Twitch streamers?
Stop streaming stop streaming on Twitch. 2, start posting on TikTok.
That's so funny.
Yeah, no, actually, so many people are like, I'm just gonna stream 7 days a week and I'm gonna stream for 10 hours a day. I'm like, holy crap, that is the biggest waste of 70 hours of your week that you could possibly do. Like, don't do this, guys, please. Literally, stream twice a week. Don't stream more than like 2-3 hours per stream. Every single stream should have a purpose, okay? And all of that extra time that you would have used towards streaming, this goes into our point 2. Start making TikTok content. And you're going to go and explore your content. So this is going to be so... I feel like I'm going to try to explain it in a way that's easy to grasp. But you want to niche down, but you want to explore within your niche. So you don't want to shit post across the board. I don't want to see like, one Valorant clip, one cooking video, and then one book review, because no one's going to follow you. Your account's too all over the place. If you choose gaming as your pillar, as your like niche, okay, let's stick within gaming. Or let's be a little bit more specific. Like, let's say you choose Pokemon. Cool. Let's only do things within the Pokemon realm. If you choose art, okay, we're going to go, let's be a little bit more specific. Digital art. Okay, let's stick with digital art, but let's explore within that. Okay, so then point number 3 is you're going to go and make a whole bunch of different videos in the same small little category that we just picked, and we're going to see which videos do well. So you're going to make for, let's say, digital art, because I do a lot of art. You're going to do speed paints. You're going to do storytelling with speed paints over it. You're going to do art critiques, where you're going to critique other people's art with consent, of course. And then maybe you can do some of those fun, like, if I were to redesign the Pepsi logo, this is what I would do. And do your little redesigns of this logo. Maybe if you do animation, you could do like a little animation storytelling. It doesn't have to be like a good animation. It could just be like a couple images you're stretching and squashing in the drawing program. But an animated story. Bam, we have 5 types of videos right there. You're gonna make 3 of each, okay? And just try to actively make every single one of them better. Then after you post all these videos, we're going to look back and we're going to look at the views. Pick your 5 highest viewed videos. Pick your 5 lowest viewed videos. Why are these your 5 highest? Try to analyze any similarities they have. Keep making those. Keep making the topic. If the 5 worst ones, bye-bye. We're going to throw them out. Also, I acknowledge why. Was your intro wrong? Was the video too long? Was the topic too boring? Did you just get no one commented and you got no engagement with it? Well, we can make the engagement better. But we're going to learn from the worst 5 videos, and we're not going to do those again. Unless you truly, truly believe in this one concept and you think this concept could be done really well and it just wasn't executed well, okay, let's take it and let's rework it. But we're just going to keep rinsing and repeating and tossing out the worst 5 and improving on the best 5. And you can like narrow down your content from there to get it to be better. 3, and this will feed back to your Twitch. 3, network. Networking is actually really important. I would credit networking to a big reason why I grew in the beginning, because I just made a lot of streamer friends that were also playing League, and like they would raid me, I would raid them, and I was able to grow quickly because of these people that I knew, and I was still like friends with them to this day. So networking is really important. A lot of people are like, I don't know how to network. I don't know how to meet streamer people. Dude, it's just like making friends, but they're just Twitch streamers. So the same way you would make friends with anybody, like approach them with the same like genuineness. I don't think that's a word, but like, approach them in the same way you would approach a friend. Like how did you befriend your current friends? Like, just be true to yourself. Don't expect anything out of them. And, I always just say, like maybe if in the beginning offer to play off stream, so that way there is nothing to be gained, so that you can show that you're genuine and and only approach people if you genuinely have good intent. Like some people are like, Kat, how do I, either somebody that I want to be friends with, I don't know how to not be clout chasey. And like, if you are clout chasey, people can tell. And if you have good intentions, people can tell. And that's just kind of it. Like when I approach people, I have genuine intentions. If I think you're cool, I want to be friends with you. And that's it. Like, if you think that I have bad intentions, then either I horrifically effed up somewhere, which I don't think is the case, or you might just not be looking for friends at this time. And that's okay. But it is what it is. And then point number 4 is to stick with a consistent stream schedule. And it is more important than people think, because like the story that I always tell, back in college, there was this one restaurant, and I really liked this restaurant. And it was on the top of the hill in my college, because Berkeley is really hilly. And they sold these like beef roll pancakes, and I absolutely love it. And it's very rarely made to a way that I like, but this place made it. This dude opened this restaurant whenever the hell he felt like it. Literally, I said 7 to 7. It was not 7 to 7. It was whenever he felt like it. Some days he does not open the restaurant. Some days it would be closed at 5, but he was open earlier. Like, this dude opened it whenever he felt like it. So why would I want to walk up this stupid hill to go see if he's open just for him to maybe not be open? Like, that's just too much work. So I would only go check out his store if I happen to be in the area on that side of the hill already. And then I would maybe go cross the street to look at it and see if it's open. And if it's not, I would leave. But it doesn't matter how good his freaking beef roll pancakes were, because he was so inconsistent at whenever this dude opened his restaurant. I did not go because it, like, half the time there was no food because he was closed. Same thing with your stream. Doesn't matter like how good your stream is. If you stream whatever the hell you feel like it, then you're not going to get as many people coming into your stream because they simply won't know when you're live. They're not going to go out of their way to be like, oh, you know, like, let me go to my computer and open up Twitch to see if Katliente is live because she sometimes streams at this time, but the last couple of weeks she wasn't here. I don't know. You know, like, to get people to consistently come back to grow, you need to have a consistent schedule. And I would say the fifth thing is to constantly be iterating upon your content and making it better. And I did talk about this in point 3, but sometimes we kind of get into like a fixed mindset. I kind of don't like using the like these terms because it sounds very, you know, like finance bro-ish. But, you know, like the fixed mindset is literally like where you get stuck into a little pity party about yourself and you're like, this is it. Like, people don't want to watch me because I suck. You know, at the end of the day, like, we all have value to give, and there will be people that will enjoy watching you, but sometimes it's your content that's holding you back, and you need to make your content better. And again, it's nothing wrong with you as a person. It's not saying that you like have any less value to give as a creator, but it is kind of saying your editing doesn't need work, you know. But we can remove your personal feelings out of it and just try to make your content better every single time. Every time you stream, maybe not every time, but every couple of times you stream, try to do something new. Every like couple of weeks when you're posting vertical videos, try to change it up a little bit. Try to implement a new editing technique so we can always be improving on our previous stuff. And that's how you get better. So sorry, that was a big, long-winded ramble about my 5 tips.
An awesome answer. I think that's really, really, really valuable. And it was crazy. It's like there's no or us. You just went right through. You know,
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, how can you possibly have such an organized mind? That is amazing.
It's not very organized.
Well, it just makes sense. I think it's just you're speaking from experience and from a strength, clearly, and you're able to articulate it because you've tried it. And in a way, it's almost like you've tested these things and they're proven to work. You really were kind of your own test subject. I think it's awesome.
I've done a lot of testing on my own content. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, even the first point, like making, I forget, it was like 10 videos and like throwing out the ones that didn't work. You're literally A/B testing.
Exactly.
It was awesome. I thought it was great. Yeah. No, it's really great.
So you also offer coaching calls to streamers who want to grow their audience, right? Yeah. So how do you structure these calls? I'm curious, like as a teacher, how do you structure them? But also, what advice would you give to someone who wants to deliver really impactful coaching sessions that transform students' lives?
Ooh, I would say twofold. So I kind of cater it towards the student. Like, student, it's so funny calling them students.
I know.
But it depends on whatever the person wants. So, which sucks because it's so vague. But some people, for instance, they go in and they just tell me, Kat, I am so lost with my socials. Help me with everything. And I got you. And that's like one boat of people. A good chunk of people come in like that. Some people are like, Kat, I feel like I'm pretty good on my socials, which I will still look at. But Kat, how do I monetize? Teach me. Like, I want to get sponsorships. I want to make money. Teach me how to do that. So that is like another boat of people. Another boat of people specifically wants to focus on one platform only. So they're like, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I think it's looking pretty good. I don't know how to make vertical short form videos. Can you teach me how to go and implement this on TikTok? So I always ask people what they are looking for out of the call before we get into the call, so I can structure it in a way that will suit them. So recently, I did like 3 yesterday. So with these people, most of them were just kind of like overarching kind of lost in their social media, and they just wanted to be guided back onto the right path for their social media. So first off, I just did, I talked to them, you know, like, how are you, da-da-da. And then we did an overarching conceptual brainstorm because they were lost in whatever content path they wanted to go down. So sometimes it depends on the person. Sometimes you have to pry some info out of them. Sometimes you can just, you know, they're an open book and they're spilling info from the start. So it's really just asking, hey, what kind of content do you want to make? What makes you happy to create? I always like to ask them, what are your goals 1 year from now? Like 1 year from now, if you were to see your content, what do you want from your content? And be as far-fetched, as unrealistic as you think you could be. Because a lot of people don't like to speak their goals out loud because they think it's unrealistic. I was like that too. But I feel like once you speak it into existence, you get a better feel for your dream and your and what you want, and then you can better bring it into fruition. So asking what they want depends on what they describe, then we can kind of cater down a little bit. So some people are like, I just want a really wholesome community that is always there for me, and I don't really care about like anything beyond that. And some people really want to monetize it and go full time. So knowing their dream also helps me kind of guide it a little better. Most of the time I do wing it though. But it just from experience of just feeling how what their person is looking for. But the overarching brainstorm is kind of like, okay, so what content are you creating now? What part of it makes you happy? What do you not like about this content? 1 year from now, what content would you like to see from yourself? And based on the answers they give me, I try to guide them in the better direction. So some people will say that they like the content they're making at the moment and they want to stick with it. Fine, that's all good. We can go down this route. Some people are like, I'm not happy with what I'm making right now. I want to change it. And they just don't know how to swap. So now I'm like, okay, now we identify that you don't like your content. We identify that you want to swap it to something else. So let's go down that route. So what has been interesting you? What are your passions? A lot of people also, they have something they've been doing. Let's say like they're doing league content, but they don't know how to make themselves stand out. So I try to ask them, okay, so what else are you passionate about? What do you think makes you unique? Like what's different about you? Sometimes I try to suggest things like, gauging from you, I think you're like this. I would suggest content ideas to them. But sometimes if I don't know the person very well, I kind of have to go off self-reported stuff. Because if I just don't know you, then, or depending on like the call, if I just couldn't get enough info out of you, then there's only so much I can give you back. But like one person I did a call with yesterday, I gave them a whole bunch of suggestions that they really liked because they kind of were like a middle-aged dad who's trying to get into content creation. And I was like, you seem like a very sweet, very wholesome person who is very loving and cares a lot about your family and is really passionate. And, you've done a lot of things in your life. You have a lot of experience. Now you're on this new journey of content creation. I was like, why don't you also take a leg of sharing this with the community, with everyone? The experience of being a middle-aged guy who has a family, has responsibilities, but is really trying to do something that you personally really want to do for a long time. And I was like, I know a lot of people who are in your same position who have never seen somebody like them do something like this. And I think you have the passion and energy to share it with people. And this would also be a good, another level to your content that would diversify you from other people that are doing the same thing. And he really liked the idea. So a lot of times I suggest ideas to them and see how they feel about it. And then we can tune it based on what they want. And then I go under their socials and rip them a new one. And I'm like, you need to change this. You need to do this. Your editing needs to be this. But I like to do a lot of brainstorming so we can kind of conceptualize ideas together. But I try not to directly force ideas onto people and kind of go off of how they seem and what they seem to be leaning towards to give them ideas.
I would love to hear about what tools or programs you can't live without, because I saw you use Notion. So maybe it's for organization, content creation. It can be anything, but because you're so online, what are the tools that you're like, yeah, if this went away, I would really have to figure stuff out in a whole new way?
If Notion went down, I use it to track a lot of ideas I have. I keep my content ideas in there. I mainly use it to track my sponsorships. So if that went down, I would be screwed. Because my sponsor, I have it on my coffee for free, but I literally use the same sponsorship tracker. It's so helpful. I use because my ADHD is all over the place and I'm not an organized person at all, but I try to force myself to be when it involves my work. So Notion is a big one. If that went down, I'd be dead. Google Calendar went down. I love my Google Calendar. I love calendars. And then Premiere Pro. I love Premiere Pro. I've used other editing softwares. I like Premiere Pro. Photoshop, can't live without Photoshop. I've used a ton of other graphic design softwares. I keep going back to Photoshop. The powers of Photoshop is insane. The fact I use it to make Etsy stuff, the fact that you can automate tasks in Photoshop, so I can automate it to where if I have a Twitch panel, I can automatically populate all 38 words I want on there, is insanely helpful.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It just takes 20,000 years to set up the task, but once you set up the task, it is insanely helpful. It makes my life 20,000 times easier when it comes to that. I don't know how to code, but I really tried. There's ways to code it to where you could like fully customize it, and I really tried it, and I was almost there, and I somehow broke the code somewhere in the end, and I don't know what happened to it. I will try again one day. I really do want to learn how to code. That's a totally side thing because I think it's so
totally
powerful.
Could.
I just don't think in the way that computers do. I took a CS class at Berkeley, which like Berkeley CS classes are notoriously hard, but that's probably why I failed because I had no prior knowledge going into it. I could not think in the way the program or the code thought in. I was just, it's like when you go on a date and you just clearly are not vibing with the other person. That's just how I felt with with Python. It was just not, we were not vibing like at all. I just did not understand it. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll try to get back into it. I also definitely could not live without Live 2D, which is an animation software. I really love Live 2D a lot. And if it went down, I would be really sad. I would not know how to make these skeletal animated emotes anymore. It doesn't make as much sense in After Effects. So yeah, those would be my set programs.
It's so funny that earlier you were telling us you were worried that you didn't have skills needed to get into an esports org. And now you're like telling us about all these different, you have like 1 billion different skills, man.
Yeah, that would be perfect for that industry. It's so funny. I was talking to a friend who's trying to learn Photoshop and they were like, it's so not intuitive. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I've had to relearn it so many times, but it is so powerful. But I agree. After Effects, I opened that and I'm like, I'm going to force quit that now. I don't want to look at that again. We have a really awesome editor who's going to be watching this and he's in After Effects. And I'm like, thank God, because it's so crazy.
No, my favorite thing for After Effects, I go on Google and on YouTube and I look up how to do something effect, and they just give a bunch of code and I just copy paste and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening in here, but it looks okay, so whatever. I don't know. I just all I know is how to copy and paste stuff in there.
I love a copy paste. That's my favorite tool.
Yeah,
I love it.
So you recently hosted Creator Royale, which is a content creator competition to see who can improve the most in a 1 month window. So can you tell us, first of all, like, how did it go? And then tell us the story of why you decided to create this.
Ooh, so it's not over yet, actually.
Okay.
It's a long competition, so it's not over yet. We have cut down to the top 55 applicants, and tomorrow, so when this goes live, it would have already happened, but tomorrow, we're cutting down to the top 25 people. And I'm going to dump the top 25 people into a Discord server together, and we are going to grind content. I said grind together, and the people in chat were like, Kat, you cannot be saying that. I was like, okay, you're actually right. That sounds really bad. But I was inspired by Streamer Camp. So I was part of Streamer Camp.
Hi, Kat.
Also, fun facts. I shot national competitive archery for 7 years and trained at the Olympic Training Center, gave a TED Talk, and once drank 10 bobas on stream. That's so many bobas. Wow.
I did not make the top 12 due to, I would say, largely my own life circumstances. I was home. It was 9 days of being in a Discord server, and I was home for 2 out of the 9 days because I was working in actually Boston. And then I went to Austin, I went to SF. So I was not there. But I took the elements I really liked the Streamer Camp, and I put it together in this competition, and I removed the elements that I didn't like of it. And I really wanted to make a competition where streamers could grow together, because I was honestly, this is a whole side thing. There's this one girl that is a content creator. I should probably tell her this, but seeing her, like, she just makes me, like, I don't know. If I had a little sister, I want it to be her. Like, she is always so passionate about content creation. She always is like working so hard in her content, etc. And every time I see her, because she just gives me like little sister vibes, I'm always like, damn, I really wish I could just be like her big sister mentor and just like, tell her these things that she could do to help her content. And like, the thing is, again, I always could just reach out and do it, but then I always have the feeling I'm like, but other people are going to be like, yeah, but like, why not me? And then, and then I don't want to step on other people's toes by only offering this to literally one person. But she just like, I don't know, seeing her and her content just like makes me feel some type of way. And I'm like, I want to give you a hug. So she actually largely, she doesn't know it, but she actually entered, and there was something else that was really unfortunate that happened. But it was actually also largely inspired by her, because I was like, I would have loved to do something like this with her. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this and run this whole competition. It's going to be free. And then I was like, I would love to have all the streamers in the world in it, but I can't manage a Discord server with like too many people in it. It makes my head hurt. So 25 people, that's going to be it. And it's me plus like 2 mods running it. And I was like, I'm just every single week gonna go like give these guys pointers, give these guys tips on like how they could improve and make their content better. And we're just gonna see who can grow the most. It's not also just completely numerical. So it's gonna be also like how much did I think skills you learned as a creator, which is a little bit more vague. But I think also straight numbers isn't gonna be fully fair because sometimes like you can't fully predict the algorithm. And like as much as I say the algorithm isn't an omniscient being that like chooses creators to go hate and like shadow ban, but sometimes like you fully get it, but just it takes a little bit for it to show in the numbers. And so I don't think that would be fully fair if I went straight off numbers. But there was like multi-steps to this challenge. So 430 people entered, which is insane. Everyone had to submit a 1-minute video introducing themselves and their content. We watched it on stream. Mods and I picked the top 100. And then I put them in a head-to-head bracket to where I would show 2 creators at a time. Chat would pick one person to go through. I purposely built this bracket and I like hand selected every person because I picked people that were similar in energy levels, similar in personality, like extroverts against each other, put VTubers together, similar creators like FPS creators against each other. And I'm taking everything from events that I've been in that people hated, like pain points of it, and removing it from my competition. There was an app called Hover a while back where it was like, supposed to be an app for streamers and creators, whatever. The whole thing, they did a lot of clip challenges where you submitted a clip and they put you head to head and the winner would win like $50. The problem with Hover, the pain point people had was they were like, dude, it's only extroverts winning because it makes sense. Well, as an extrovert, right? In 30 seconds, it's so much easier for an extrovert to show personality than an introvert. Like people who are introverted or like more quiet in personality tend to like, they take a longer time to show their personality. So it's not really fair to pit a very quiet, like wholesome streamer against some like G Fuel juiced up Call of Duty streamer. So that's why I purposely built the bracket for my head to head to try to eliminate that pain point. And then we got down to the top 50. But I did a redemption round. So people could submit a 30-second video begging for forgiveness. And we did a single Elam bracket on stream. I brought 5 people back. I intended to bring back 2, but it was too hard to pick. So I brought back 5. The top 4 in the quarterfinals in my single Elam bracket plus 1 other person because they tied the person that made it into the quarterfinals. So we brought back 5. So now we have 55 people. But judges and I are going to choose the top 25. So we're going to watch their videos on stream tomorrow and judges and I will pick after, and we're gonna have the top 25. So the 1-month Discord challenge will start in like 2 days.
Wow, that's super exciting.
Yeah, it's
really
the
cool.
first time I've hosted a competition to this scale, but a lot of people have heard about it. A lot of people really like it. So this is validating to me as a creator. I was really scared about this competition because the scale is so large to where I was like, oh God, I don't want anything to mess up in this thing. But if it does go well, then I want to pitch it to companies in the future so they can maybe sponsor it. Maybe we can offer creators like a bigger prize for winning, etc. I purposely didn't make a big prize pool because I didn't want people to be upset if they lost.
What is the prize?
Oh, it's only $250 and a Stream Deck Plus for first place. And then like $100 for second, but $50 for third. The reason I didn't make the big prize pool, I'm fielding it myself because I don't have a sponsor for it. Elgato gave me a Stream Deck to give away, so bless them. But the reason being, losing because you didn't grow enough already feels bad. And then I gave a PC away in my talent show. And then losing a PC on top of that, I feel like would feel even worse. So I was like, I don't know. For this, I feel like I shouldn't offer a very large prize pool because it would feel really bad. But I don't know. Maybe people would want a larger prize pool and I could hit up companies later and ask them to give me a PC or something. I don't know. This is my first time running it, so I'm just seeing how it goes.
Yeah, you could do a survey after and see what people say.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good call. I did that last time with my talent show too.
That's cool. That's awesome. What a cool competition.
Yeah, I love that when you were evaluating them, you were doing it on stream and then like everybody was kind of like participating and giving in their own thoughts as well. That's like, I've never seen that. That's so cool.
I was going to ask about that. Is that weird? Like, say you have a really intense reaction to something and you're like, oh, that was weird that someone said, like, say someone said something offensive. I don't know exactly what it would be, or it'd be something where like immediately you almost have a reaction to it. How do you handle that if it's already on stream and you have to be a little more positive?
In terms of like video submissions to my show, or like in general, if somebody were in chat.
Oh, I just mean like the video submissions, because if you're viewing them on stream, it's almost like instead of meeting with the mods privately and being like, okay, that definitely wasn't that good, we should get rid of this person, whatever. How do you handle
mods
that?
pre-reviewed the content. So we have already eliminated people. Yeah, because which I paid them for their labor. So they've already watched it all off stream because they watched all the to make sure it's appropriate to show on stream. So we throw out everybody with DMC and music because I explicitly said no DMC and music, and some people didn't listen. And I'm like, I can't show it on stream. It'll mute the audio and I'll get in trouble with Twitch. And then some people submitted videos that should not be shown on stream. So that's it. But I mean, I can't remember specifics, but I remember there was like something like a couple of videos where I was like, oh, this is out of pocket. Like I didn't see this one coming or something. Or wait, no, it wasn't that. It was like their link was broken. That was it. It wasn't like their video itself was wrong. It was like I opened it and they gave me a link to something else. Like no idea what the link was. But it was weird because it worked earlier when my mods checked it. Because every link that they flagged, I myself opened too. So all the people that were approved, I like was checking around the links. They all look good. So then I opened it on stream and one person, they linked me like straight up just TikTok or something, like a random TikTok video that was not theirs. And I was like, wait, what is this? And I was like, oh, you know, like, I think a part of streaming is like the art of BSing and covering things up. So I was like, oh, they must have submitted the wrong link. All right, moving on, next person. And then
just dealing with it in the moment.
Oh yeah, that happens with everything. Like even when I get hate rated, I've had people dox me. You just don't acknowledge it and you move on. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Delete the comment. I don't even say anything about it. Just move on. Don't show any reaction.
Yeah. There you go. It's kind of on the same topic. What is your self-care and mental health routine or practice as someone who spends a ton of time online and forward facing?
I would say, honestly, I didn't really have much of like a mental health or self-care routine for a very long time because I'm just a workaholic. So it's like, why self-care when I can do more work? Lols. But only recently I started doing like self-care. I think it's just like, honestly, just indulging in things that I want to indulge in guilt-free. I love reading webtoons. I read a lot of webtoons. I'm reading one right now. So I just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to lounge around and do this. And recently I've been telling myself, Kat, you're just going to have these 2 days a week at least where you do nothing. Like, and for the problem with me is like, I really like making money. So I'm like, can't do anything that involves making money. So if it's like art, okay, cool. Just can't draw Twitch emotes because you're going to sell that on Etsy. Or like, I literally have like to like tell myself that in my head. Or like, okay, you can lay down and just like play 9 games of TFT straight. All good, you know, YOLO. And then just don't feel guilty about it. It's for like your rest, etc. I feel I personally don't need, this is just me personally, don't need much like mental health self-care because, well, I'm a little cocky, but I'm very confident in myself. So it takes a lot to like knock me down mentally. So I'm pretty much chilling there. But it's like the physical where it's like I overwork myself a lot.
Mm-hmm. How do you think you got that way? Why are you so tough?
Bullying. Well, even when I was a kid, I was always just like very blissfully ignorant about everything. So it's like I was always like a little quirky, a little weird, little weird kid. It is what it is, but it wasn't like because I've always just been very, even as a kid, pretty self-assured. Like if I like something, I like it. I don't really want to change it for somebody else, etc. The only problem is I was just a little ignorant, which is why my toxic ex was able to feed me information and I bought it because, again, was not doing any other second research because I was just ignorant. But I've always just been like, I've had people who are just kind of like, oh, you know, they would say things. They'd be like, are you sure about this? Like, oh, you know, you're like kind of like an e-girl streamer or whatever. And I'm like, dude, just shut up. Like, I've always been more of like like people in the day, they were like, they would refer to it as like a bra girl, kind of like that's what I got called. But it's because like I was just always very self-assured in what I wanted, and I will only do things that I want, which is like I guess part of like maybe low-key narcissistic, but not even. I think everybody should be selfish and everybody should put themselves first. And I am a firm believer. I always put myself first and I only do things that I want to do. I've always been like that. So
yeah,
that's such a great answer.
It is a really good answer. I mean, I don't even think it's selfish because I think when you show up for yourself, you can show up for other people.
Exactly. You got to be your biggest advocate.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So we're coming to the end and what we have started to do on the podcast is sort of paying it forward to other creators.
Wait, Katie, sorry, I have one more question.
Oh, sorry. We can cut this.
No, it's all good. My bad. What are some memorable mistakes you've made as a content creator?
Like me.
Oh my god.
Nice meta.
I once doxed my credit card buying League of Legends skins. I wish I was joking.
Oh no.
Yeah, I doxed it. I was literally buying RP to buy some skins, and I doxed my entire credit card. So that was lit. I doxed my IP address once, because if you go to a VPN website, it will show your IP address on the top of the website. Learn from my experience. It does do that. I've had people dox my address on stream. Well, that was not my mistake. That was their mistake. There was one time where I forgot to end stream after I was streaming, and then I was kind of like smack talking somebody on my stream because they were being kind of weird. But at the time, I didn't ban them because I was a small streamer. I should have just banned them. But I was like kind of smack talking them in call, and my stream wasn't over. They were just there. I didn't explicitly name them, but they kind of knew. Raids don't end your stream, guys. Just letting you know. And ban the weird people. Just do it. I should have just banned them, to be honest. So
that's a solid list. Hopefully the listeners can avoid doxing themselves.
Oh yeah, I made a lot of videos telling you how to not dox yourself, because I've done it many times. Not fun. Don't do it.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Katie, take it away.
Pretend it didn't happen. So can you shine the spotlight on another creator? Who do you enjoy watching, whether it's streaming, TikTok, or anything else?
Oh my god. Picking just one is going to be really, really hard.
You can do more than one.
Yeah, you don't have to do. It's just the idea of like, okay, someone comes on the podcast, we want them also to promote somebody else that they're a fan of.
I saw you reviewing Quarter Jade's merch recently. That was nice.
Oh god, I can't wait for her merch to come in. Oh my god, I spent $200 on it. I'm so looking forward to her merch. It looks so cute. Okay. In terms of creators that I absolutely love, one, Lucrity. She helped me out so much when I first started streaming. You don't even know. Like, she honestly was a huge inspiration as to why I do streaming advice, because she helped me so much, and she didn't gatekeep any information when it came to helping me as a streamer that I wanted to pay it forward. Lucrity. So Lucrity. Okay. She goes by Kathy, but Lucrity is her handle. And then, well, I don't know if I should recommend this person. Vanius and Ferb. He was the first person I ever coached for streaming, but he makes keyboard videos. And because of him, I spent a lot of money recently because he kept making keyboard videos and they look really good. So I bought a bunch of them. I love his keyboard videos. I love Lowe's content. I take a lot of inspiration from him. He makes these day in the life vlog videos, but they just look so cinematic. Cinematic. Yeah, thank you. Katie, that's the word I was looking for. They look so cinematic. They just look so pretty and nice. And I love the style of his editing. So I take a lot of inspiration from him that I try to use in my videos. I don't really watch stream advice people, so I can't really give recs to any of those because I just try not to watch other people who make similar content to me because I don't want to accidentally get influenced by somebody and then have that, because I create so much content, but I'm so forgetful that I'm afraid of watching somebody's video and then having and accidentally regurgitating out their information. So I just literally avoid all of those people as much as possible, which is no fault to them. It's just me. I don't want to accidentally get brainwashed into that. God, it is so hard to just come up with a few people off the top of my head.
I think that's a good start.
Well,
yeah.
Really
also, I love that you
big shout out to my boyfriend. Oh, sorry, what?
I was gonna say it's interesting that some people, they actually will study their competitors just to avoid saying what they say and trying to consciously be different. But I love that the complete opposite thing works for you, which is just ignore them entirely.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, it's kind of I don't know what I don't know. So I feel like this is at least my personal take. I think that's why I'm able to keep my content kind of more unique, because I don't consume other people's content remotely of any regard that does streaming advice content. The ideas that I come up are uniquely and genuinely my own, so that if it is similar to somebody else, it's not because I intended to it. Either we probably just both came up with really good ideas. Or maybe I saw it and completely forgot, but I really just, every time I see it on my For You page, yeet. swipe. I don't even watch past like 1 second because I really don't want to accidentally watch it and get influenced.
Yeah. No, it's so funny because Mo brought it up. We talked to someone who said the opposite, but if it works, I mean, it's either way, if it benefits you.
But I like yours because it saves you time.
Yeah.
No, it's easy. Just don't consume it and then you're good,
Yeah.
I just research ideas on my own, like on Google or whatever pops in my head.
There you go. What it's a piece of content.
So sorry, Katie. I think she was going to name a few more. Keep going, Kat.
Well, I was going to name my boyfriend because
my God, sorry. I'm like the biggest interrupter today. Jeez.
No, it's all good, dude.
It's okay. I do the same. I feel like it's just, if you have ADHD, your brain's like, woo, sometimes.
Constantly.
I feel you.
Constantly.
It's all good. But yeah, I would say boyfriend. He sometimes streams, but he's been an absolute help to me. So absolutely love that. And God, I'm like, there's so many people that I know I want to name, but like off the top of my head, it's not coming to. Oh, and one and Ken and Esme_ILU. They're my two mods that are helping me run Creator Royale. I love them very much. Very near and dear to my heart. They're very sweet and genuine people, and they both stream. So yeah, that's it.
Oh, awesome. Okay. What's a piece of content, TV show, anime, game that you're currently obsessed with and why?
Oh my God. Okay.
Also can be more than one.
Ooh, okay. Well, first off, Attack on Titan. The finals episode just dropped and I love Attack on Titan so much. I literally love it. Oh God. Levi's my husband. And I can't believe it ended. Like, I literally didn't even kind of want to watch the ending because I didn't want it to end in my heart.
So relatable.
Because then it's over. Now that I finish, it's literally over. And then I'm currently reading a webtoon called The Villainess Turns the Hourglass. It was recommended to me by a friend. It's really good. It's a webtoon in which the villainess actually is a villainess because sometimes they just get really soft. And I'm like, well, but you're not evil. You're supposed to be evil in the plot, but you're not. So I really like this one. This one's really good. And then in terms of games that I am obsessed with, I'm currently obsessed with this game called Moonstone Island. Why am I saying Moonlighter? That's a different game. Moonstone Island. It's like a farming sim game, but you're like a little alchemist, and then you can go fly on a glider or a broomstick to other islands. So it's like unique to farming sims because it's a farming sim, but also with the concept of Pokemon to where you can collect these Pokemon like characters, and it's plays like the battling sequence plays like Slay the Spire with cards. So it's very interesting. Oh, and Pokemon Go. I recently got back into Pokemon Go. I'm obsessed. There was Wooper Day the other day, and I forced my boyfriend to go like drive us an hour away to some place to the marina so that I could go and like walk around and collect Woopers.
I didn't even know people were still playing Pokemon Go like that. Damn.
Dude, it's because he played in a Pokemon card game tournament and I wanted to be a supportive girlfriend, so I went, but there really wasn't much to do because I knew it. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew it was going to be 10 hours of sitting outside and playing the Suika fruit game. But then there was a Pokemon Go tournament happening too, and I ran into somebody that I knew who was playing in it. So I was like, let me go download it. And then I got hooked since then. So it is what it is.
Oh, okay. This is completely random, but one of the reasons I'm so excited about like augmented reality and like mixed reality is because in a few years, we're all going to be able to just like put on glasses and re-experience Pokemon Go, except it'll feel like it's there in real life. Like that's going to be so cool.
Oh, that would be so crazy. And oh my God. They need to make a VR Pokemon Go. Holy crap. I will be the first person to buy it.
Oh my God, I'm kind of surprised they haven't done that yet.
So I'm pretty sure they're working on it because the company that makes Pokemon Go, like Niantic, they're called, they're doing a lot of research on like augmented reality games and stuff like that. And so obviously the first iteration was like just with your phone's camera, but they're working on the glasses stuff for sure.
Oh my God, that's really cool. I remember the summer. Excited. I remember the summer when everybody went outside.
2016.
And I was like, oh. No, you're right. It was 2016. You're totally right. Yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy time. Any final words you want to leave the audience with? I'm sad this is over.
Sad. I would say, honestly, my final recs at the end of the day, just like stay true to yourself as a creator and like work with yourself, not against yourself. It's easy to look at other people and compare and be like, this person's working this much or this person's doing this much. Like, we're all different and your content creation career will be a very long one. So don't run too fast and then burn out too soon. So, and just do things that make you happy. That's like the most important thing.
I love that. That's really great. And where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitch and TikTok under the handle Katliente. It's like caliente in Spanish, but with K-A-T in the front. And no, my name is not Katie. It's Kat. People always mispronounce it because it looks like Katie if you're not paying attention.
It's like Kate Lee.
Yeah, it's like Katliente, like that, not like Katie. But so on Instagram, it's katliente.ttv because I couldn't get Katliente. And on Twitter, it's Katliente, but with 3 E's at the end instead of 1. Because I also couldn't get Katliente on there.
You should be able to get it at this point.
It's a dead account that was made in 2012 with 1 follower.
Yeah, but can't you, on Instagram, you can talk to the people at Instagram and be like, I want this.
Instagram, the person actually does exist. It's Twitter that is like the complete dead account from 2012.
Okay.
Ooh,
you got to tweet Elon.
Mm-hmm. I know, at Elon, can I please get the handle Katliente so I can stop using the one with 3 E's because Katliente just looks so much nicer.
It's definitely possible. Hopefully in the future. It's like when people have just their name as their Instagram handle. They finessed it.
I mean, because again, he said that he was going to free up a bunch of dead accounts. And I'm like, this account's been dead since 2012. There's literally 1 follower, no profile photo, nothing, no tweet ever made on the account.
Is it an egg?
And 0 people it's following.
Is the profile photo an egg?
No, it's a little person. It's because they changed it. It's no longer the egg.
No, it's no longer the egg. I'm not a Twitter person, but that's really sad, actually.
No, they changed it. I miss the egg days.
Yeah, the egg was cute. All right, Kat, this was amazing. Katliente, this was amazing. Thanks so much for your advice. This was an awesome episode, jam-packed with great tips and fun and talks about boba. And yeah, we were so happy to have you.
This episode was recorded with Streamyard. If you want to record a podcast like this, check out the link in the description to get started.
Thanks for joining us on Inside the Creator Studio. See you next time.